All right, we are live. T&W Podcast, episode number 10. Thank you, everybody, for all you guys watching out there. Welcome to the T&W Podcast. I'm your host, Nevil Thomas, and I have...
Kevin Wang.
Exactly. The man, the myth, the legend. So we are here, episode number 10. It's very commemorative. We love it. We enjoy it. And we got some interesting articles today. We got some interesting stuff to talk about, and I think there's something I wanted to start and end off with, which was I wanted to start off with just if Kevin, and we talked about this very briefly, and we said, hey, let's talk about this on the podcast today, which is what has happened with Robinhood and the traders. And Kevin's going to explain a bit on that, and I'm hoping that we can end today's podcast talking about what does this mean in the world of personal finance. I love personal finance. Kevin loves personal finance. We all love personal finance, and we love talking about it.
Maybe not all of us, but
yeah. Well, guess what? If you don't love it, guess what? We want you to love it. We want you to care about it. Okay. You don't have to say, "Hey, I don't want to." If you're the type of person who says, "Dude, I don't want to seem greedy. I don't want a lot of money." Fine, that's okay. But just know how to manage it. No matter who you are, what you want. If you want a lot of it, you don't want a lot. You want a lot of it, you don't want a lot of it, you want to give a lot of it. Whatever you want to do, you can do when you learn of how to manage money. So that's what we try to do. That's how we try to help. And Kevin, can you start us off by explaining to us what Robinhood did?
All right, so I'm not 100% clear on this, right?
Okay.
But everyone knows in the past week, or just because, this is being posted online, so maybe you're watching this a year from now. But in the past week, the r/Wall Street Bets, this subreddit of absolute mad lads, they basically just bought and hold for GameStop, and I believe it was AMC, which caused their stock prices to shoot through the roof. They're currently sitting at around 2,500% of their original value that they were trading before. I don't know. It's something crazy like that. But essentially what Robinhood did was, instead of facilitating free trade, they basically shut down all trades on those two stocks and said no one can buy or sell for a few days. And then now they're restricting it to like 70 stocks, which is like $200, which is basically nothing.
Yeah. My understanding was like they also restrict on like many others. Like I think one of the popular ones, like Dogecoin,
something like that,
which is like a derivative of Bitcoin. That was also like on the black, like I don't know, black, like you just can't mess with it. I don't know. This is interesting, and we'll come back to this one. I think this is going to be a very interesting ending point. And so we want to let you viewers just simmer on it, and let's get started. So, Kevin, what's the first article you want to go with?
Let me see. I guess you want to go over the big stuff first, or do you want to go over
How about we do the private jet company first?
All right. So there's a private jet company, Wheels Up. It's they're going public via SPAC. Do you know what a SPAC is?
I don't know what a SPAC is. Do you mind informing us and me and
so
our viewers?
A SPAC is a method of bringing a company to public without sort of the traditional process. You know, the traditional process, IPO, where you got like some dude trawling through all your records for like the past 500 years, and like it's a massive headache. Things like that. You gotta
I've heard of it.
Accounting structure.
Okay.
So essentially what's going on is, when you're a private company, you can do whatever you want with your accounting. But the second you hit you go public, you have to bring it all in line and make it like the same format as the public, right?
Yep. Like in accounting, there are set standards that you have to follow.
Versus if you're a private company, you could just like have one computer that's running like Excel once maybe, and you can have like the most basic cost structure, you can have like the most advanced accounting, but once you go to public, you need to bring everything in line. So SPAC sort of sidesteps that a little, because SPAC sidesteps that a little, because how SPAC works is you set up basically like a shell company, and then like you go public with a shell company essentially, right? And then you get investors to buy from you, and basically there's certain stipulations, but essentially is when they invest so much money in you, you go out and find a good company to bring public. So you basically go out, find a company you think is great, and then you just buy them out. And since you already have a company, your company, let's say like Kevin Co. is a publicly traded company, right? It has no assets, it has no revenue, it has no liability. It's super easy to put through because you just put zero for everything. And then you raise all this money from just investors, and you take that money, go out, buy out a completely different company, and
like
just like
Neville Thomas Co.
Yeah. So Neville Thomas Co.'s assets are all mine now. And then I basically just say like, well, I was already a public company. I don't need to do anything now. I just bought some assets, you know? So that's how SPAC works. There's a lot of issues with that because investors are literally putting their money into nothing at the start. So
okay.
Regardless, that's just how the format works. But we can't say whether this was a good play or not for the SPAC, but we could just comment on the fact that this is going public. So
and this is a private jet company. Let's talk about this. Private jet companies.
I think this
in the
is
middle of a pandemic is going public.
I mean, I guess it's pretty interesting because historically, you know, or not historically, but recently, companies are moving away from having and operating private jet fleets and more towards just sort of like just going with standard airfare. So I don't know. I think this is interesting. People always, at least in my opinion, right? People always considered the private jet fleet of a company to sort of be like the CEO just wants to be balling over there.
CEO, man. Well, here's what I was thinking. He was Kevin. That's funny, and I know our viewers got to be laughing right now. But here's what I was thinking. With the private jet company, let's look at it this way. A lot of airlines have been going on, and the biggest thing is what? With airlines moving on. Can you guys hear anything in the background? Kevin, can you hear anything?
No, okay. It's good.
It's good thing. So either way, so you have a private company, like in the middle of a pandemic when planes are trying to move. The issue is what? There's a lot of seats crammed in together, right? And so these companies, they're trying to look at how much should they charge per seat, right? Because you don't just buy a plane itself. You buy a couple of seats. If it's me and you flying, then we buy 2 seats. If it's me and you and our future wives, then we buy 4 seats, right? So now because of that, the prices have gone up because they can't fill as many seats and they need to still keep some revenues up, right? I think this private jet company is coming to a customer base that is out of it fits the pandemic. Like people can travel, okay? They can travel and do the business needs that they need to because some people need to travel because of business. However, this is more of serving people who can afford renting out a private jet, right? And they can maybe just rent it for their family and be one household and travel for a business need, or just a few company people, which satisfies like COVID restrictions, whether it's like 10 people or less or different things like that. So I think this company is fitting a very interesting consumer base. It's got one weakness, but it has one plus too. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Yeah, I mean, apparently it's been described as sort of like the Uber of private jets, which does also make sense because although private jets are more expensive, I guess if you can maintain a large enough fleet where you can just be on call at any time, that's great. But I think the problem there is like it's not like I don't think because private jets, like the main reason private jets are used is because it's like super last minute. Like if I just got a call in the office today or something like that, like some factory over in the other side of the world just exploded and like spontaneously detonated, I have to be there like as soon as possible. Right? But like if it's like, oh, I got a business conference scheduled a month from now, I'm not going to be going to rent out a private jet.
Well,
I'm going to buy like a business class.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what you got to also realize, and there's something that what you said in your statement earlier that I want to talk about. Then, first thing is this: it's you're not just you're right. You're like people don't always just get private jets for the sake of getting a private jet. However, they do get private jets on the basis of trying to be like it's like people can get them even just as a business just for the sake of traveling, just because they don't want to travel with a lot of people, they don't want to be in that thing, they want a direct flight from, instead of having a connecting flight from like me trying to get to Dallas, if I want a straight flight to Dallas and there's no options, or like it'll probably be like me whenever I don't know about you when you go to China and visit family, but me when I go to India and I try to visit family, there's always a place that I need to stop by. It's I first go from Detroit, I go to Chicago. This last time recently when we went, Detroit, Chicago, and then I needed to stop at Abu Dhabi, which is, if you don't know where that is, it's an hour away from Dubai. And then from there, I got to my main city in India. But typically, I go to like here, Chicago, New Delhi, and then the city I'm trying to get to, which is in South India. So there's always something connecting that I always need to go for. And then you lose time when you try to go for a connecting flight. It's just a big hassle, right? Private jet companies get on one and just go. That simplicity of directness saves you time, which will in turn save you more money than what you're spending on. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a time thing where it's like, I need to get there now. It can just be on like a time relational aspect of that.
Time inconvenience.
Also, so you said something, and correct me where I might be missing something. So this private jet company, my understanding is more of they have a fleet of jets, you can rent them, fly, and that's it. You said that this company would be the Uber of jets. And if my perception is what I believe is right, how would it be the Ubers where I'm asking? Because Uber doesn't have any cars. They don't own cars. They help people who have cars use their cars to make extra cash. And as a result, they're providing the employee and they're providing the customer together. Airbnb does that also.
I'm honestly not sure.
Okay.
I haven't done enough research into it to see how they run their business. So
okay, no, that's fine. No, that's fine. That's totally fine. And hey, that's something that's going to be interesting to see, because if people do believe this will be the Uber of private aviation, I guess the biggest question comes down to is, where are these jets coming from? Aren't they owning them? Are we having somebody else provide them? How does this move? How does this react? Who's making the money all around? But Kevin, this is an amazing article. Nice job. This is going to be an interesting company to watch.
All right, let's go for the next one.
Jeff
want to talk Bezos. All right.
Bezos.
So this one's interesting. So Bezos is notorious for not donating a lot. So he's always been yeah. Like
how is he notorious for that? I've never heard that. Really?
No, I mean like you see like Bill Gates, you know. He's shelling out money for so many nonprofits and like initiatives all over the world, and then you see Bezos and you hear about like maybe one thing a year.
Well, I mean, I don't think here's the thing. You also got to realize this, and we're gonna. So everybody, just to give a sideline to the article we're looking at, it is the Jeff Bezos article on the Wall Street Journal that just came out today. And it's interesting because it talks about how he's stepping down from Amazon CEO. And Andy Jassy, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing his name, he is the one taking over. So either way, but like here's the thing, you also got to realize this, Kevin. Bill
Bezos is just getting the hell out of Dodge. He's getting his fort and he's getting out.
Well, wait. Bill Gates has been running like he hasn't been running Microsoft for a while, right?
Yeah.
It was Gates, then it was Ballmer, then now it became who? Satya Nadella, right? He's been the one running Microsoft. So he's no longer doing it. It's him, it's Bill and Melinda Gates running their Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So I think he's got the time for it. He's got the money for it. They both have the money for it. He just has the time for it also now, which I think that's what we're going to talk about with Amazon Jeff Bezos. So
he's stepping down from CEO, but I believe he's still something like
he's the executive chairman.
Yeah, executive chairman. So essentially, he's still doing a lot of day-to-day stuff, just not as much as the CEO does. So I personally see it as him just being swamped with work and just like making the decision that, hey, I want to be less swamped with work type of deal.
Well, here's my thing. And I got an interesting point of view because here's the interesting part, everybody. Me and Kevin were reading this article at the exact same time, and we like to share our articles so that we know what we're talking about. And he posted it before I did. I was like, Kevin, that's my article. Come on, man. But either way.
Well, should have beaten me to the punch then. First come, first serve.
I'm challenging on that. Either way, here's the thing. So when it comes to like executive chairman, he owns a significant part of it. He wants to help run it, but it's executive chairman, to my understanding, is more like a board. If it's not, it is the board of director. So he's going to be on the board, which means he helps manage the direction of the company. In the next 1 year, where do we want to be? In the next 6 months, where do we want to be? In the next 5 years, where do we want to be? Understanding that long-term timeline. A CEO knows the timeline, is always making changes to it, but there's also day-to-day stuff where they need to be on point, on key, trying to fix it. If it's a big company and they're a supplier of ours and there's an issue, guess what? CEOs might have to get involved. That happens, right? So I think right now, and this is an interesting thing I really want to talk about here. So Kevin, I got something interesting for you.
All right, hit me.
We all talk about Elon, right? Elon, Tesla, SpaceX,
Musk himself,
the Boring Company, and his like solar energy company, right?
Yes.
Like he's got so many different companies. We know the story. He started PayPal. He sold it for 180 million. He put 100 million into SpaceX, 30 million in a Tesla, if I'm correct.
There's a lot of money going around, but yeah.
Yeah, and then 10 million into his solar company, and then he needed to borrow money for rent. At least that's what's been said.
Okay.
Because he just took all his money and he invested it back into these 3 companies. And here's the thing: Tesla prices been going up. Now, I'm not saying that there's not some speculation, but some people just truly do believe in his company, and I believe in it too. In the next 10 years, that hey, he is going to be a viable person who will stand. But here's the thing: he's been running on a significant amount of there's a movement with Tesla. People are following Elon, right? They believe in his path. They believe in his mission, right? So they've been doing that the entire time. Bezos, people know him as the Amazon guy.
Wasn't it like a lot of people didn't believe in him, but he succeeded anyway?
Who?
No, because early on he was just the book guy. You know, the book guy working out of a warehouse.
Oh, Amazon.
He was like a dime a dozen tech company at the start.
Well, yeah, they evolved over time. First it was books, and then it evolved. Like they showed the graphic, like when they started Amazon Prime, when they got Echo, when they got Whole Foods. The growth of Amazon has been immense, right? So here's my thing I wanted to talk about. With Jeff Bezos, like we know that he's also starting companies like Blue Origin. And in the article, they briefly mentioned about him and Elon, like how they compete. Does Bezos possibly have a higher leverage now than Elon Musk? Possibly. Because
potentially, I would say he has more money. He certainly got more money.
Not just money. He's got I wouldn't say more money. I'd say he's got cash flow. Because as executive chairman and owner, he probably will still get paid a certain amount.
Mm-hmm.
He will probably get a certain amount of money, or at least some money that he can redirect, or some sort, like he will get cash flow which he can redirect back into
See, I don't know about cash flow, because he has a more stable background, I guess, with Amazon just bringing in so much cash, but he doesn't have the, I guess, the ideology, or he doesn't have the. I mean, okay, so we all know Musk has sort of built sort of a cult personality around himself.
I don't know if I'd say that.
I won't comment on it if it's good or not, but he's a personality, right?
He's got a personality, yes. Everybody's got a personality.
But the thing is, he's known for being, was it really driven, as well as being a person who gets stuff done. He's not a businessman. He's an engineer. He fixes problems. He solves problems. So that's why so many people believe him, because he's also just so happens to be pretty decent at being a businessman too. But essentially, Bezos is a businessman. He's good at managing his assets, but Musk is a visionary. He doesn't focus really much on what's in the here and now, and focuses more on what is possible. So I'd say, while yes, Bezos has more resources, because he has more money, he can hire better engineers, so on and so forth. But I'd say Musk will probably still win, at least in my opinion. I'm not saying they're competing against each other, or like one of them has to win, but I'm saying Musk will probably be more successful, because when you think of like space, like before it was NASA, like if you want to do anything with space, a career in space stuff, before it's NASA, now it's SpaceX.
Well, yes, before it was NASA, now it's SpaceX. But here's the thing: Blue Origin's made a significant amount of leaps. I just don't think. I feel like they haven't gotten enough press, or personally, I just haven't seen it. But I feel like they've made incredible leaps. Jeff Bezos, he's an incredible strategist. That is what I have to give him. He's got his how he strategizes different things, and because of that, he built Amazon in a very specific, structured way. I think that will set him apart. And I think because of this move, he knows that Amazon can move forward. And this new CEO will take it. I think there's like two of them actually, because it's split between Amazon Cloud and then the other portion. I'm not getting the exact name on it. I apologize for that. But he is like moving. And I think he's going to make he'll have money to keep on throwing at an issue. Right? I don't know if Elon Musk will always have enough money to keep on throwing at an issue.
Oh, see what he did last time that he didn't have money? He sold some boring flamethrowers.
Wait, what?
You don't know about this?
No, I don't know about this.
Okay, so he's got another company. He's got like 5 companies.
I don't know how he runs them all. I don't know how all of these guys run them all.
Well, he's got another company. It's called the Boring Company.
Yeah.
And essentially, the whole thing with that was he was like, roads are too slow. Why don't we just make tunnels underground? So that's what the Boring Company does. It bores holes in the earth for car tunnels, right? But essentially, he ran out of money for that. So instead of doing something like everyone does, where he's like, all right, let's sell some stocks, or let's sell some bonds, raise some capital from angel investors or something. No, he's like, let's make a bunch of flamethrowers and sell it to the public.
So that's what the flamethrower thing was. I know that there was something about flamethrowers. I just didn't know it was that. So he sold a bunch of flamethrowers.
Yeah, and he's also making bricks now from all the dirt in the tunnels, but he's a pretty interesting character.
He is a character. And hey, if he makes money off of it that he can reinvest back into his business, why not do that? So, I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, I think it'll be truly interesting how Jeff Bezos moves, because I think this is an incredible strategy move. He set his company up at a good spot for a point of transition, which allows for just enough time to get accustomed. But also, if something bad happens, the new CEO can take over. Because one of the things that was said was Jeff Bezos has a lot of great lieutenants around him. And I think that's one of the key things also, the fact that he's got people around him that he looks for and that are looking after him. I think that's one of the key things to look for. And so this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting.
Yes. Because Bezos has so much more time now, it's gonna be interesting to see what he's gonna do with all his money. Because I'm like, he's a businessman. He's not gonna just blow it on like.
I mean, he's got time. He's just gonna invest it into his other companies, building more companies.
No, but like the thing is, because he's at his other companies, right? He can start making more drastic decisions, and I'm interested to see what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I think he's an incredible strategist, and we will see more and more and more.
Can you hear anything in my background?
No, I cannot.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so let's get on to article number 3. Kevin, you brought this one up. So this is Robinhood raising $3.4 billion to shore up finances.
Oh yeah, it's kind of related to the other one, but essentially what's going on there is that Robinhood is because like Robinhood kind of does, I don't know, it sort of facilitates trade, but it also needs money to sort of like back up the trades, right? So basically what's going on there is they got nervous because there's a lot of money going through with the GameStop and GMC and stuff like that. So I think that was part of the reason why they shut down trading, because they wanted more money to be able to facilitate those trades.
Okay, so is it possible where, because I know one thing is like based on like if you, let's just say you fund an account, right? So like you put in money into any account. It can be a bank account, like when you're making that transfer, or just like when you're trying to make your credit card payment, or you're trying to put money into your investment account. Regardless of whatever it is, you need to pay a certain amount of money, right? I believe in like, so like I think what's happening is like people are putting in money, but because those things take time, I know what companies have been doing now is where I think under a certain amount. So I think Robinhood is maybe 5,000. That's out of a YouTuber. I personally use Fidelity, and I haven't reached that limit because I don't like just dump a lot of money all the time into my account. But what it does is it's more of like giving you a loan. So for example, Kevin, let's just say you put in $5,000 into your Robinhood account. Okay. What it does is it'll allow you, they will give you a $5,000 credit on the basis of your account is going to get funded in a couple of days. We want you to be able to invest now.
Oh yeah.
So because there's been a rise in people joining, that's been happening. Additionally, is it possible that people have been using loans? Like, I know it's not called loans. Maybe I think it's called margins. To buy stocks.
Yes.
And so that might also be the fueling point.
It could be those two. Fidelity. Sorry about that. Fidelity, good. From what I've seen, right, I'm actually looking towards transitioning, mainly because I tried to buy some GMC stock the other day, and they just flat out denied me.
GMC?
And, I mean, not GMC, AMC.
AMC. Okay. Wait, who did? Robinhood? Oh, you use Robinhood?
Yeah, I use Robinhood is like what got me into, I was into investing, but when I first started, I used Robinhood. I've been using it for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of just rubbed me the wrong way, because it's like, hey, are you really just gonna make me like not do anything, or like you're really just gonna like say no, you can't do that when you have your name is literally Robinhood? So that kind of made me just rubbed me the wrong way, and also because you recommended Fidelity, and I was doing some research on other stuff beforehand. Because from what I know, the only like the two main advantages of Robinhood is that the three main advantages. One of them is defunct now, but the first one was that it had free trades. Or like there was no transaction fee, but that's defunct now because everyone does that now.
That's an industry-wide acceptance, yes.
Yeah. The second thing is that they have a really good user interface, but other places are upping their user interface as well. And so the user interface made it good for beginners. And I've been trading for like a year now, so I feel like I should probably try and widen my knowledge of how everything works and move towards something that's a bit more complicated. And the last advantage I had is cryptocurrency. But the problem with cryptocurrency is it's kind of overhyped. it's very, very speculative, and it has no like inherent. It doesn't have anything tying it down. I guess there's no value tying it down. It could be like worth nothing, or it could be worth everything. And the only thing that denotes its value is speculation. It's not like other companies where at least like for Amazon and other things, right? A lot of it's speculation, but at least a good chunk of it is just like the hard assets they have. So.
Okay, yeah. To anybody watching out there, Fidelity, I recommend them. I use them personally.
We're not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, we are not sponsored.
I hope one day. But hey,
Fidelity, if you want to, Fidelity, Vanguard, if you guys all want to sponsor us, we are more than happy to test and try out you guys' products, and we are more than happy to. Okay, we're very open to it. But yeah, I'll be honest, it's Fidelity's interface is not that hard. Granted, I'm not using every single thing on the Fidelity website. I'm using just my basic stuff, like where's my account position at, where I look up a certain thing so that I can get all the info. So I get like I'd say it's a more helpful feeling, because if you want to get news articles, it's on there. It's on that dashboard. You want to know a dividend, it's on that dashboard. Like on the top is like all the statistics, like the dividends, expense ratios, things like that. But then later on, you can find out like, hey, where are the holdings of this index fund, things like that. And so, as you all know, I do like to invest in index funds. That's my personal thing. I know that's like a really old statement, so I'm probably like aging myself more. But yeah, I highly recommend it. And one of the things is, if you are investing for retirement, one of the things that they have is zero, and these are fun. They're zero, there's zero expense ratio funds. So there are funds with zero expense ratios. Like typically with mutual funds, you see.
Wait, what do you mean by zero? Like you pay nothing?
You have no expenses, which is typically unheard of.
Wait, so you mean like there's no annual fee? There's no
nothing.
They don't take a cut or anything?
Let me explain. Because exactly. So there are, and I was looking at this. So like a typically mutual fund, if you don't know what a mutual fund is, it is a fund where there's a person who is managing it. They have lists of holdings and stuff, and because it's an actual person, they will buy and sell. And their payment is around 2 to 3% of however much is getting managed. So 2 to 3% of your growth they will take from it.
Well, I believe it was like 2 to 3% a year.
Yes.
Plus like 10 to 20% of your profits.
Yeah, and so it'll kill your growth. Those fees are immense. You need to watch out for fees. So it's immense. Now, what an index fund is, it is a computer basically run version of it. And so, but they still need to like do maintenance and upkeep for such a computer. And so because of that, excuse me about that. And so because they do maintenance and upkeep, they'll just charge you a really low rate. So ideally you want to have something that's under 0.4%. Two of the index funds I am invested in, which are by Vanguard, are 0.06%. So I'm not breaking my back over that, because that means every $10,000 I put in, $6 are fees. Okay, I can sleep fine at night thinking that way. However, Fidelity had there were funds that were 0.15%, which is extremely low. 0.15 is an extremely low price point. And then now they have zero expense funds. So 0.00% is the rate they were charging, Kevin. And so for all you long-term investors out there, I highly recommend you guys look at this, because I think Fidelity offers some interesting products. And I know we've talked about them in the past in our podcast, because their plan was to like offer free and great products. And then if people want more customized, more expensive approaches, they can, which will cost more money, but that's if they want it. First, they just want to offer basic, free, available products, and I like the basic stuff, so that's why I'm there.
Also, completely, or not completely, slightly off topic, Robinhood is being sued for like millions of dollars.
I heard that. Although I don't know why.
Just because they're stopping free trade, and because a lot of people lost money because they couldn't trade. Like let's say they had like 1,000 shares of GameStop, and they were like, "Whoa, I want to sell now. There's a lot of profits to be made," and they can't sell, and they just see the price go down. And I don't know about you, but if someone says you can't sell at your stock when it's at like $100, and when they tell you can sell it's at like $50, I'd be pretty mad.
That would be extremely disappointing. So yeah, I can understand that. I wonder what pressures the Robinhood people who are at Robinhood, the company itself, are having to go through. I wonder what those pressures are.
There's certainly a lot of pressures.
They're probably
the CEO is being called in as well to testify or something like that. But another thing is there's a lot more. I think there was something like 600,000 more downloads of Robinhood or something like that. There's a lot more people downloading that.
When 600,000 when?
Let me see if I could find this somewhere. It was on a different article I was reading earlier. But
Oh no. This is on the website thing. Despite the massive backlash, Robinhood is currently #1 on Apple's free app charts, and it was downloaded more than 600,000 times on Friday alone. And wow, 600,000 times on one day, Kevin. So many people are trading. Woo!
I guess the Apple people finally realized how good Robinhood is. Maybe, I don't know.
I think people saw the opportunity that Robinhood brings, and I think here's the thing: I don't know if Robinhood was built to be. Robinhood wanted to be known as a trading platform. I think what they wanted to be known as was an investing platform, and the thing is that also includes long-term investors. But it seems that they've included.
But the problem is their target market is just all the younger generation, and the thing with the younger generation is they don't have a lot of money, but they're willing to take a lot of risks to get a lot of money. So the older generation, they have a good chunk of money. They're not willing to take risks. They just want to maintain or grow it. The younger generation, so what if they lose their like year of savings? That's just like $5,000, you know? It has the potential to elevate them to like a millionaire.
So what does that make me? Don't got a lot of money, but I'm investing for the long term. What does that make me? Am I old? Am I young? Or am I just really, really old?
You're just a smart investor.
That's a good creative way to put it, Kevin. That's an extremely creative way. So are you. So yeah. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, which is on Robinhood, you have to buy a specific number of shares.
No, max. Those are caps. There's fractional investing, but there's also like maximums, at least for the GMC and GameStop.
You mean AMC?
AMC. I keep saying it wrong. My bad.
Yeah. But okay. See, I was not aware of that. I didn't know fractional shares were an availability with Robinhood. I know that is with Fidelity. So I guess this is where I wanted to end off and talk more about this, which is, what does this mean? What does this mean?
Don't underestimate the power of the meme.
The power of the meme. Okay, the power of the meme. There's been a lot of controversy out there. People have been talking about this, which is like Robinhood is what? Like, at least what happened with GameStop? They went against the hedge funds so that they would lose money on their short.
The hedge funds lost like billions.
I think it was like 53% was their loss in profits. My understanding was, and I was like, that's so scary. Just like because of one trade, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I think the question is, how do people react? How is this going to play out?
Oh wait,
So
if you've have you seen the article about Jordan Belfort?
his video,
Oh, I think you know what I'm talking
he
about.
put so if you don't know what it is, Jordan Belfort put
I'm
out
sure everyone knows who Jordan Belfort is, right?
well, maybe not to our viewers out there. So Jordan Belfort he is known as the Wolf of Wall Street. He was a guy who made a lot of money because he
Very
was
illegally and very
yes,
fraudulently.
yeah, and as a result,
He opened up an investing firm called Stratton Oakmont. And eventually, he went from like simple things like penny stocks and things like that, where he sort of over exaggerated their potential future outlook, and then he made a lot of money off of that. And then from there, he went and did like pump and dump schemes, where he put a lot of money or like artificially raised the price of one thing, and then just like that's the pump part, and then the dump is when he cashes out and makes so much money off of that. So he did that repeatedly. There's a lot of legal things, something to do with like overseas banks. There's
yeah, and
a lot of legal things.
I think that was when like the overseas banking aspect came in. Like his thing was he was selling penny stocks to the richest 1% people. That's what originally happened. And I think that was fine and that was working. I'm not sure if it is. I don't know technically the law. But I think at that time that was fine. But then later on in time, what happened was like because he was like moving money overseas illegally and things like that, that caught up with him. And so that was illegal, right? So, but here's the thing. He put out a motivational speech, just more of like on the basis of like why should we stop, right? And then I know Kevin O'Leary said that hey, Robinhood is officially taught what financial literacy. People have been investing, people have been learning, and financial literacy is key. But he also is a big supporter of investing for the long term. He says take out of your profits, take 10% off, put it into long-term investing, and then reinvest back the 90% into whatever you want so that your growth is still compounding. Because we still have like what? We're 20. We'll have 40 years worth of investing before we can actually take money out of our retirement account because it's 59 and a half. Kevin, are you 19 or 20?
I'm 19.
Okay, so we're both
I'm
19.
younger end.
We got 40 years, right? So I think that's one of the big things that's been
Wait, I thought it was 65. Or no, it's 59 and a half. No,
59 and a half. That's the earliest. The latest, like where you need to start taking your money out, is like 70. If I'm correct. But there's a lot of things that go out and that are at play when that happens.
All right. It's gonna be interesting.
It will be extremely interesting. I am curious to see how things go. I wonder if people are going to be moving to different platforms, how that's going to happen.
I feel like the financial world's gonna be shaken up a lot in the next decade or two, and I'm excited to see what's gonna change.
Well, I got an interesting one last thing I want to point out, and it's this. Silver went up. There was talk about how like a lot of these traders put a lot of money into silver.
The meme stock.
It was an ETF thing, and so but the thing was like nobody was shorting silver. So why is there a ton of money going into silver?
It's a meme stock.
What's
Why
a
does
meme
anything
stock?
happen? No, a meme stock is something that doesn't make sense. Like, does it make sense to buy and hold GameStop or AMC? Not really. Does it make sense to buy a lot of silver? Maybe, but not really.
Well, you can buy
And
silver as a hedge.
yeah, so, but still, it's like, it's a meme stock. There's not a lot of sense in it, I'd say. But you have silver, so you made money off it.
I mean, I have silver. I haven't sold it, so I don't know if I'd say I made money.
You should sell it.
I might
The
probably.
price is up. The price is up. You should sell it.
It's not the place where I want to sell it at. So, but it's
all right. It's your silver.
Like, here's the thing. It all. You can either buy the ETF or you can buy the commodity itself. So people have their own opinions. I have.
Wait, that's one thing I never really understood. Why are there ETFs for precious metals.
So here's the thing. Here's my understanding. So let me explain why. The way my understanding of it is where it's like somebody has like an institution has a lot of silver on hand,
Mm-hmm.
and then they sell out shares. So technically, your ETF is kind of like a ticket to your portion of a silver bar or something, or no, your 1 ounce of silver.
So those ETFs are backed by silver.
Those ETFs are backed by silver. Yes, that's why they can say those are silver ETFs.
Okay, so if you took that and went into whoever is holding it, you can get that transferred into silver, or would it?
I don't think you can get it transferred into silver. It's kind of like, here's my best way of explaining it. This might be a really dumb way, but this is my best way of explaining it. Imagine if, okay, you go to a movie theater, you buy a ticket, right? And so because of that ticket, you're guaranteed a seat. So that's kind of how it is when you buy an ETF. Now, the way is if you have silver itself, it's where you went to your house, you brought your own chair, and you were guaranteed a spot inside the movie theater to put your chair there and sit there and watch the movie. Does that make sense? Silver is the chair, you are the person.
So it's your own silver?
Technically, here's the thing. That was a bad example. But here's the thing. When it comes with an ETF, it's meant to like show the value of 1 ounce of silver. And here's the benefit of it. It's easier to trade 1 ounce of silver on the market.
Because you don't have to go in person Because you don't have to go in person and do various. There may be like your broker. Well, not your broker, but whoever's buying the silver might take a cut. Facilitator might take a cut.
Like when you buy a piece of silver and then you're trying to sell it, like an actual silver coin, like you might sell it on eBay. In which case, you have the silver itself, but then you need to pay for shipping and different things like that. When you have, or like maybe you can only do local meeting up only. Like you make an offer on Facebook Marketplace or something like that, and then you meet locally. Guess what? Still, there's time and effort that needs to be taken. If you want to sell silver as like an ETF, you just hit the sell button. And the moment somebody wants to buy, they buy it. And that's it.
Makes sense. All right.
So I think, this is a good point to end. Everybody, thank you so much for joining for the T&W Podcast. We loved having you on. We had a lot of great articles. Kevin, is there anything you want to say?
Not particularly.
I think I've gotten Kevin being out. All right. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining with us. And we will get you on episode number 11.
All right.
Have a nice night, y'all.